moving on from the Middle East and coming a little closer to our friendly old neighbors, China.
Uh,
This question can be asked, it's evergreen, it can be asked at any time of the year. Um, what new games is China playing with us?
yeah,
And how is Bharat dealing with it?
sure. Let me put it to you like this. China is not playing games only with us. It's trying to play games with everybody. And it is losing every single game it plays. Now, people talk about the belligerence of China. Well, let's begin with two things. Let's talk about the geostrategic whammy that China is facing and the economic, financial whammy. First, it came out with some project called the Bilk and Rob Initiative. No, not Bilk and Rob, Belt and Road Initiative, right? Something BRI they used to call it. And then they also built the China-Pakistan exploitation corridor, not exploitation, economic corridor, they call it, CPEC. I deliberately mispronounced this. Now, the BRI was their $1 trillion outreach to the world. The world very quickly saw through it. We have the world's most useless and idle airport today is in Sri Lanka. It has 2 flights per month. But it was $200 million, so they claim the Chinese built it. And they're saying, you jolly well pay us the money back for it. Where's he going to earn his revenue from? He doesn't even have money to pay for the lights, his electricity bill. So they switch off the electricity until that once in 15 days a plane lands there and then they switch on the lights. So what China tried to do economically is a disaster. Then the virus came and the virus gave us a new concept. The fact that I'm talking to you online, this is the equivalent of working from home or working from anywhere. So I don't need to physically go somewhere and work. I can do it from the house. So therefore, if anything has to be done, you don't really need physical displacement. You can do it in the work from home. On the geostrategic front, if you look at the eastern seaboard of China, all its population and most of its industry is there. It has only one coast, the east. I have two. I have three. I have three oceans, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean, and the Bay of Bengal. He has just one, the South and East China Seas. Now, if that is blocked, he won't know what to do. So he builds this huge thing to Gwadar port in Pakistan, but that goes overland. Very easy to stop that. So now he's wondering what to do. And then he tries this funny thing with us in Galwan. To this day, he hasn't acknowledged how many of his soldiers he lost. I have. We lost 20 of our sons. We honored them with state funeral. China hasn't even acknowledged it. Look at the families in China. They're not even allowed to grieve for their sons who died. Because officially the sons didn't die. They're living somewhere in the stratosphere. That's a country that lives on untruth. Whereas India's motto is Satyamev Jayate. What are we doing to deal with China? 3 fronts. The first is military. You know that. We're ramping up our preparedness. And if China felt that we were weak as they attacked us in Galwan 2 years ago, they would have done it again. But we smashed their teeth. They know if they try it again, we'll smash their nose. That's number one. Militarily, we are more than a match. Keep hearing these retired generals and admirals and air marshals. Oh, they are doing this and we should do this and we should. Look, go away. Give me a break. We are doing what we have to. Happy birthday. We know what we are doing. We've just announced the new recruitment policy for the military, these Agniveers and so on, where they will serve from 4 to 4.5 years and some of them will get absorbed, etc., etc. It's a very, very exciting new policy. Second, we're dealing with them financially, economically. You may not see the impact immediately because when you've been in bed with a fellow for 30 years, then the divorce doesn't come in 30 days. It takes 3 years. So slowly we are beginning to wean ourselves off dependence on Chinese products. We are seeing, I don't buy anything made in China. 90% of our purchases are online, but if we see country of origin China, we say, no, we don't want it. That's our own personal decision. And the third way we are dealing with them is diplomatic. China is totally isolated in the world. Recently, they have a funny-looking chap who says, I'm the foreign minister. He went off to the tiny South Pacific islands, 10 of them, saying, okay, here's the agreement we are going to sign, and we're going to build bases here, and we'll do this, that, and the other. We'll give you so much money. So, and then he went off to Fiji and said, okay, guys, let's have a virtual meeting. When will you, the Chinese had already signed the memorandums of understanding. So when are you guys going to sign? So the 10 Pacific Island states, led by Fiji, which is one of the larger ones, said, no, buddy, we're not signing. We don't want you running around here. So then the poor Chinese ambassador in Fiji was asked, I saw him on a television channel saying, didn't this flop, your whole idea? No, you see, it didn't flop, but the point is it wasn't successful. But that doesn't mean it was a flop, because the Oxford Dictionary says if it's not successful, it's not necessarily a flop. But don't worry, they have at least kept the paper with them. That's a great victory for China. Now, the poor man is reduced to this kind of nonsense. I feel sorry. I wouldn't want to be a Chinese diplomat today when I have to defend the indefensible. So militarily, economically, and diplomatically, we have totally contained China. No, they'll keep making noise going around in the South China Sea, flying a few aircraft into Taiwan's airspace, etc., etc. Had they wanted to take Taiwan, ma'am, they would have done it long ago. They would have done it in 1949, when the People's Republic of China was proclaimed, when the former rulers of China, Chiang Kai-shek and his fellows, ran off to Taiwan. At that time, a fellow called Mao Zedong couldn't do it. But the Korean War started, he got distracted, there were many reasons. He can't do it today. It's not easy anymore. So they understand this. And also the world understands, if you look at a map of China, the Eastern Seaboard, take away Japan, take away Taiwan, then from the eastern part of China to the western part of the United States, the ocean is completely open. What are my priorities today, sons and daughters of India? I have 4. I don't have a 5th. The world doesn't have it. The first is how to deal with the pandemic. And I've been telling the Chinese that please tell us how it originated so we are prepared. Of course, they lie, they won't tell us. But then as my daughter sent me this little WhatsApp message that for 2 years, the virus was working from overseas. Now it's decided to work from home. So it's gone back to China. It's attacked so many, they have the zero COVID policy is all nonsense. They're in deep trouble. So the first thing we need to deal with is to prevent future pandemics. Second, what we need today is climate change, which is the biggest threat to human survival. We are seeing it everywhere. We're seeing it in the nation's capital in New Delhi. We're seeing it across the world. You're seeing it in the Middle East. The third thing we need is economic recovery through free and open seas. Now, the Chinese turned around and said, sorry, the Pacific Ocean belongs to us. Oh, really? How come? Well, 3,000 years ago, a Chinese chap was sailing there, so his ship sank. And because his bones are there, it's mine. So I said, oh, you didn't realize this? 1,000 years ago, one of my ancestors were fighting in China. He died there. His bones are there, so China belongs to me. And they didn't think that I was being facetious. They thought I was very serious. This is really, do you have proof? I said, yeah, I'll find you the proof. Nobody accused them of being smart. And the fourth thing we need is management of these critical new technologies that are emerging. In all of this, you need young minds. You need new ideas. And the youngest country in the world, as you rightly said. So we are going to play a leading role. We already are, whether it's the pandemic, making so many billion vaccines over a period of time to supply to the world, or dealing with climate change, with solar energy, the International Solar Alliance, what have you, one world, one sun, one grid kind of stuff. Or it's keeping the seas free and open. We hosted the first ever United Nations Security Council meeting on free and open seas last year. The Prime Minister of India chaired it himself. China said, no, I don't like this idea of free and open seas. I won't go. The other 14 guys said, don't come for the meeting. We'll do it with, oh, you're going to do it without me? Okay, I'm coming. And then the fourth thing is these new technologies. We are best placed to be. So these are the 4 things. Terrorism is a distraction. But if we were able to, in a ambience free of terrorism, if we are able to deal with these 4 major challenges, India will lead the way. Already people are telling us, more than 150 countries who are our partners for development, they are saying, show us the way. India is our role model. That's what we are. Ma'am, we are a very good people, Ms. Naya. We have no ulterior motives. When we help people, we help. We don't exploit. That is India.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.